Chelsea are title contenders. Yes, that is a question in this video. Yes, it's a question. It's not a statement. We're kind of going to go through this and kind of discuss, are they title contenders and what are the chances of actually winning the league this season? Because let's be honest, going into this season, it was kind of a massive unknown. No one really knew what to expect under Maresca. Everyone was really excited to see what kind of style they'd play. And then the fact that the big talking point of the fact that the squad is so big and we've seen a massive cull of the squad. We've seen so many players literally smashed out the door, players like Raheem Sterling, Lukaku, Gallagher, Chalobah. The list goes on. And the fact that not only has he done that, he's also whittled it down to a 25-man squad. And now we're going to be going into this and kind of just dissecting what's gone on so far this season. They currently find themselves 4th in the league with 4 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. And in the last 5 games, they've won 4 and drawn 1. Yes, that loss came right at the start of the season against Manchester City. And to be honest, on reflection, I spoke about it on the podcast when on the Buckout Sam Talksport podcast. Go check it out. On the first game week of the season, I thought Man City and Chelsea was actually a closer game than anyone really expected. We all expected them to get absolutely battered, and at times you could see patterns slowly forming with the way they were playing. On reflection, I think they actually played all right. But looking at their season and their start so far, it's been absolutely incredible. In recent games, we kind of talk about the fact that they've come against Brighton, which really, other than Man City, was probably their biggest test going into this season. A lot of people thought with this game, with the way Brighton have been playing in recent weeks, have been really playing some really nice fluid football. And you looked at going into this game, a lot of people have Brighton as the favourites for that. But Chelsea absolutely battered them. Won the game 4-2 with the likes of Cole Palmer and Jackson having absolute field day. And if I'm honest, I think Nicholas Jackson probably should have got 3 or 4 goals in that game, genuinely. And there was so many times with that high line that Chelsea were just breaking it. And what we saw with that is kind of a manager that shows that he's got an understanding. And the fact that Cole Palmer said in the interview after the game, we knew what the game plan was to hit them the way they did because of that high line. They were playing some really, really nice football. A lot of deep runs being made from the likes of Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer. And we could do a whole video on him separately. Like, the guy's an absolute joke. But the fact that Maresca is getting, I'd probably say, an even better level out of him. And he's gone up to another level this season. Like, the progression with him as a whole, I think, is incredible from Maresca. We've seen him kind of playing in a bit more of a free role because at top points last season we saw him on the right or in the false 9, whereas in this system he's been playing as a number 10 and kind of overloading on either side, a lot more so on the right hand side, but kind of plays in that really awkward position for defenders to mark between the fullback and the centre back. And he's been having absolute field day in there. He's been honestly incredible, and the 4 goals that he scored this weekend were just beautiful. And then the fact that obviously they beat Barrow in the cup, but we'll skip that one. They then went away to West Ham, and that in itself is a difficult game, and they absolutely battered West Ham. At times it could have easily been 5 or 6. Nicholas Jackson getting 2 and Cole Palmer again. And the fact that we're already seeing these kind of combinations, and then Jadon Sancho's come into the fold. He's got 3 assists in 3 games and also won a penalty in that time as well. He's looked really strong, and it's really interesting to see kind of this system that we're seeing already being formed and built. You kind of likes of Caicedo playing that deep line role, and he for I know we spoke about him last season, the fact that he had been playing a lot better towards the end of last season, but he looks an absolute joke right now. And these are the kind of things we talk about with good managers. Good managers get the best out of players, and in comparison compared to Poch, I know this is only a small sample size of games that we've seen so far, but the proof is in the pudding so far. Cucurella has stepped up. Enzo Fernandez has stepped up. Caicedo for me. Caicedo, Palmer and Nicholas Jackson have been the 3 standout players. Then you've got Madueke, who absolutely was tearing up trees towards the start of the season, especially in that game against Wolves. But then players like that have already stepped up, and I think the sky's the limit for this side. And the fact that we see them currently in 4th in the league, so it's a really, really solid start. And you kind of look at the teams around them and kind of compare their start to the season. And yes, I know that people can say, oh, they've had an easier start. Yes, but they have played West Ham, Brighton and Man City in their first 7 games. Sorry, they're 4th in the league. And the fact that they're only 1 point off Arsenal and Manchester City. And I kind of look at that as a whole and just think it's really positive. Are they title contenders? I think they are. I think you really, at the moment, they're kind of a bit more of an outsider. More so during the Spurs at the start of last season when we found Spurs kind of in and around and people saying, are they title contenders? And they did the lap of the pitch. Chelsea are in that situation at the moment. I'm not saying they're going to win the league, don't get me wrong, absolutely no chance. But I think they're in there, they're in the race right now. And I think they're kind of that 4th spot because we've seen Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool, 3 sides who were absolutely incredible last season. They've kind of carried that momentum on. But the progression we've seen in this Chelsea side, no one expected to see, me included. I thought they'd I think I tipped them for 5th in the league this year. Yeah, I tipped them for 5th. I said Newcastle 6th, and I said Aston Villa 4th. But the way they've been playing has been absolutely incredible. And I know Sanchez, I think Sanchez is probably the weak spot in the team. Like, there's still a mistake in him. We saw it against Brighton, and we've seen it in previous weeks against Bournemouth and things like that. Like, he has always got a mistake in him, but that, I think, over time will get used to the system. But as a whole, we're starting to see kind of an actual system being played, and you're working out the 11. You're going into each game, and you can actually predict the 11 that will be playing, which is unheard of for Chelsea. Last season, we were constantly saying, what's the best midfield? Is it Caicedo? Is it Enzo? Is it Gallagher? The questions were there constantly. There were so many players that we were talking about saying, oh, I'm not sure if it really works, but we've already seen the fact that I think they needed a ruthless manager, and the fact that we've kind of got a guaranteed back four. You've got Kukurea at left back, Colwell and Fofana, and the fact that Fofana has been playing every week is incredible. The fact that you can even keep him fit is just showing that he's a miracle worker. But then you can guarantee that front four every week, and that's what I really like about him. And then the fact that he's kind of blended in players like Neto as well, coming in off the bench. I just really like it. I think it's really exciting times for Chelsea. And I think we can't get ahead of ourselves now and start going, they're going to win the league, they're going to compete. That's where we just need to stay a little bit grounded, but kind of apply context to the situation. At the start of the season, no one expected them to be in this position, which is just an incredible feat. And the fact that they're doing this already just shows that Maresca is a really capable manager. And I think you use this as comparison and compare it to other clubs in similar situations. And we saw it with Ange when he first came in at Tottenham. The improvement was massive. And it's where they can keep it now consistent and keep building on this. But what I like, and I look at the starting 11, I think it's really strong. I like that front four. Madueke, Palmer, Sancho, Jackson, Caicedo, Fernandes. The back four is probably the weakest part of this team, and they always do concede. They don't keep many clean sheets. But what I like is them going forward, and they'll outscore a lot of teams. I think with the way they've been playing this season, with Cole Palmer's creating those overloads and things, and his moments of magic, the guy's an absolute joke. One of the best players I've... That 90 minutes against Brighton, well, that first 45 minutes is one of the most complete performances I've ever seen from a footballer. Genuinely, I'm not exaggerating. The way this guy can sprint at full pelt and somehow control the ball and drive with it at the same time is just beautiful to watch. Like, I feel lucky sometimes when I be able to sit back and watch these kind of games and get to see him week in, week out. It's just incredible. But I look at it as a whole, and I think, yeah, I think they're playing really well. Something seems like it's clicked, doesn't it, all of a sudden? And it just shows you that we spoke about cutthroat managers, and a lot of people saying, oh, it's mental the way Maresca is. I like the fact that he came in, was strong straight away, said, this is my team, I don't want these players, get them gone. And I know it's a very risky approach, but when it works, it's incredible, because then the rest of the players really want to play for that manager because they feel a connection. Like, this guy, Maresca, really wants me. Players like Nicholas Jackson and players like that, because they were trying to get Osimhen. And the fact that he's gone, no, I want him. He is my man for this season. It must fill these players with so much confidence compared to what it was like last season when it was kind of cut. It was all over the place. And the media was absolutely cutting apart this team and things like that. There was so many questions constantly. So I think Maresca's got it right. So I think they're definitely in for title challenge. They're in the title race, let's be honest. Whether they'll win it, I don't think so. But the fact that they're at that point just shows how well and how good a job they're doing. And I'm really impressed by Chelsea this season. I think they've kind of gone about their business a bit under the radar. I don't feel like enough people are talking about them. I know now kind of there's been discussions, are they in a title race and things like that. But it's been incredible. Look, it's from since the first game. Ignore the first game week because it's a Man City first game. It's not a nice, easy fixture as your first game. But since then, they've been absolutely immense. They've been colossal. And I've seen them in so many games now absolutely dominate teams. And what I really think will help them going forward in this season is the fact that they're in the Conference League. I think that will really benefit them. And the fact that they've got players like Cole Palmer who aren't even in the squad at the moment, it just shows you that the strength and depth in this team is really good and really going to be helpful for them going on throughout the season. So I'm going to come back to this video in hopefully around December time. I want to see where they are now and see, were we too early? Did we jump the gun too early? But right now, I think there's got to be the discussion. And I feel like I had to do this because Chelsea's a team that I'm really enjoying watching at the moment. Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer, for me, are some of the most informed players right now in the Premier League. And it's all down to Maresca. I think you've got to give him his flowers and give him his props when he deserves it. But yes, Chelsea, for me, are in a title race. I'm going to say it now. So that's my answer to the question. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know, do you believe that Chelsea are in a title race? I know it sounds mental, the fact that we're doing this. I can't believe it. Compared to where we were all thinking in the pre-season, it's absolutely mental. But if you haven't already, please do smash the like button and please do subscribe for more daily content on this channel. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow.